Hello there and welcome to www.henrythejedi.com. You will believe. Oh yeah. My name is Henry Mbata, also known as the Jedi, and today we are going to be taking a look at some exciting, lovely, beautiful video gallery animation inside of Adobe After Effects. So without any further waste of time, here is a look at what we'll be creating today. I hope you guys liked it. So basically we are going to take a look at how do we create this beautiful video animation using Adobe After Effects, and yeah, some creativity behind us, and of course the force to drive this beautiful animation using After Effects. And you know, there is a magician who was called Houdini, and let me tell you a little story about him. He once made a 5-ton elephant disappear. Can you imagine 5 tons worth of an animal disappearing into thin air in front of over 1,000 people? So yeah, we don't have the tricks of Houdini, but some say we can pull off magic with After Effects. So let's do some magic. Put on your magic robe and yeah, let's get started with this particular tutorial today. Let's get some fun. So After Effects, here we go. We are going to start by importing our project files by going to File, Import, File. We're going to select all these images that came with our project file. Make sure it's not a multiple sequence, and then click on Open. And then let's look at what each of these images contains. Okay, we have here our my first ever 3D character that I designed using Autodesk 3D Max. It took me some time to get to this beautiful end result, but I'm glad I got there. Okay, so beautiful African woman model in 3D right there. We have my first ever CG car. It's my concept car that I call the Fiorina GT. There is me right there, and my friend Amo dressed up in awesomeness. We have this little boy here called Junior. He's such a kind boy that I remember when I once had to sleep over at a friend's house, and he was there, you know, to keep me company. You know, you can even say the word Jedi, I can assure you. But in this case, I was trying to say cheese. Hi, Junior. Yeah, he was only 4 years old at the time. Yeah, we have my lovely sister Sarah Mbata. Yeah, my friend Cindy Lolwane, and of course my my dream car, ladies and gentlemen, my dream car, the Fiat Abarth 500. Okay, the Fiat 500 Abarth. Okay, such a stunning car. I couldn't stop telling my friends about it the first time I got it. Not the first time I got it, but the first time I saw it being driven somewhere, of course, by someone else. Yeah, so yeah, these are the. Oh, I almost forgot. We also have our stunning space shuttle taking off. I believe this is the Space Shuttle Discovery going into space. I mean, space shuttles are such amazing machines. Ever since I stumbled upon a book that talks about that technology, my fascination just kept growing every day, to the point where even today, I went the other day just looking for its pictures. Or in fact, this is Space Shuttle Endeavour, okay, coming from space. Can you imagine a machine so powerful that it has to output so much energy simply to leave Mother Earth behind so that it can aim for the heavens above? You know, such a stunning machine. And of course, when it comes back to the Earth, this little baby here will do 28,000 kilometers per hour. Can you imagine? If a car will do that, I believe that car will simply rip itself apart, you know. I mean, look at that. It's like watching a missile taking off. But of course, this is not any ordinary missile. This is a missile for science and development. Okay, yeah, back to our tutorial. Up next, we are going to learn some pre-compositing techniques so that we can easily be able to replace our original images here with any other images that we want without having us to change too many things in After Effects. Okay, it's the way the professionals do it, so that you save time and energy, and of course money in the process. I'm going to show you what I mean right now. Okay, we're going to change the composition. We are going to to create a new composition by going to composition, new composition. We can leave the name at comp1, and then we simply need to change the width to 320, and then the height will change to 240. The duration, let's make it something long, like 10 seconds. Okay, and then we'll click OK. Of course, at the moment you can see it's still blank, right? And then we are going to again to make a new composition. We can leave it at comp2. As you can see, again the width is 320 and then the height is 240. We're going to create 8 of these because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to create 8 different compositions like that. 6, 7, 8. Okay, then we're gonna stop there, and then we go to the first one. Okay, and then here, composition number 1, we are going to drag our CG character there, our first object, and then we are going to layer, transform, fit to comp. Okay, and then just like that, our layer will fit into this comp2 or the comp1 composition. Okay, then we go to the second one and we place our object there. Also with this one, we are going to layer, transform, fit to comp, or you can always press Ctrl Alt F on your keyboard. Okay, we go to the third one. Also layer, transform, fit to comp. We are making these compositions each as small as possible so that they can easily be manipulated, and of course so that it doesn't crash our PCs as we're rendering. So Junior will also be fit to the composition. Okay, of course he's a bit scaled out, so we need to widen him a bit like that. We go to composition 5. We're going to drag there, layer, transform, fit to comp. Okay, Sarah is in. That was composition number 5. Composition number 6, we're going to add Cindy, layer, transform, fit to comp. Number 7, the little Fiat, layer, transform, fit to comp. And finally we have liftoff, the space shuttle image, transform, fit to comp. Okay, again he's a bit scaled out, so we need to scale him like that a bit. Good. And then up next we're going to create a new composition by going to composition, new composition. This composition here is going to hold the reflection maps of our layer, so we're going to call it reflection comp. Okay, we're going to change the width to 2910 and then the height to 900. Of course the duration should still be as the length of the other ones. And then up next we're going to bring certain compositions into this window, and we are also going to create another composition by going to composition, new compositions. We're going to call this alignment, because this is where we're going to align all our objects in the proper positions. Again, the width is 2910 by 900. Okay, and then we are going to select all our compositions from composition number 1 to number 8. You can always hold shift while you select, so that you can select all these compositions here, and then we drag them to this alignment composition. Okay, and then here we're going to begin to position them. Of course, we started the first one and we are going to move it, or let's select everything, press P on the keyboard to bring up the position. We are going to start by moving the comp1's composition position to this side here, as you can see, just on one axis here. Okay. Number 2 will also move. Number 3, number 4, okay, number 5, more or less there. Don't worry, I will zoom in so that you guys can see better what you are doing. Number 6 can go there, and number 7. Like that. Number 8. Okay. Don't need to worry if your measurements are not exactly correct. Alright. Let's select all the compositions and let's try to bring them more to that side. Perfect. I want to select this one here, more or less like that. This one here. Again, as I said, no need to worry if your distances between each of the layers is not precise. Okay. And then up next, we're going to try to enhance our layer by giving it some sort of a punchy light rays kind of effect. Okay. So we're going to select our alignment composition, and then we're simply going to drag it to a new composition window like that. And then we are going to call this one here, this one here, we are going to call it light rays. So we are working on our light rays composition. First, we are going to add a new adjustment layer by going to layer new adjustment layer, and then we are going to add, because if you look right now, our images are good, but they're a bit too dry for our liking. Okay, we need to enhance, we need to give warmth to the colors. So to do that, we're going to effect, color correction, color balance. You'll be amazed at what this little tool here is going to do for us right now, especially to this little junior here. We're going to change the shadow red balance to 35 to bring up a bit of the readiness in our images, because red is one of those colors that enhances a look by giving warmth, because I mean even the sun's rays are sort of reddish in color or yellowish in color. And then we're also going to change the highlight red balance to 21. You can see indeed some readiness took place here. And then we're also going to check preserve luminosity. Now that's the big guy. And can you see, if we check it off, you can see the difference. Let me zoom in on this little guy. You can see the difference between checking on and checking off the preserve luminosity. And of course, you can see the difference between when our color correction is on or off. So you can see what we meant by color correcting our video layer here. Okay. And then up next, we are going to select our alignment layer and then go to edit, duplicate, like that, so that it gives us 2 layers. Okay. And then the one above, we are going to call it rays, because this is the guy which is going to output some rays for us. Okay. To achieve the blurriness, or rather the rays coming out of our images, here is a trick on how to do it. We are going to select our rays composition and go to effect, blur and sharpen, fast blur. Okay. Yeah. We'll change the blurriness to 1. And then we'll also add effect, blur and sharpen. We are looking for CC radial fast blur, like that. Can you see what the radial fast blur is already doing to our image? Of course, by no means are we done. We'll change the rays center, the first blur center, so that it can be at the bottom, so that our images can to have the look of emitting the rays from themselves. And we'll change the amount to 88, like that. Aha! So now we have this smoky extended kind of rays taking place. Okay. And then of course with rays comes the problem that the image below is blurry, of course. So we're going to select our rays layer, and then we're going to change the transfer mode to hard light. Aha! So now we have properly achieved the look and feel of the rays coming out of our object. Okay. And it will happen that maybe when we try to composite our scene like this, sorry, our rays might not show as we want. So we are going to try to create a mask around our rays object. So we simply select the elliptical mask tool, double click Effect, then we're going to double click again like that, so that our image here won't disturb our edges. And in fact, these ones here need to go out a bit, and downwards like that. Don't worry, we'll come back to this in case we need further adjustments to take place. Alright? So after we've managed to complete this stunning, beautiful light rays coming out of our images like that, let's go to our reflection comp. As you can see, it's still empty. Okay, we are going to bring our light rays composition into this guy here. So already you can see what's going on. And also we are going to bring our alignment composition to this window. Let's just try to press P on the keyboard and bring down its position like that. We're also going to press P on this one. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And before things get out of control, we need to enable ourselves to know which one of these layers is the one below. We're going to select the alignment layer, and then we're going to add a new adjustment layer to it. Let's bring it down. Then we're going to go to Effects, Color Correction, CC Toner. And then we're going to change the toning to a, let's see which value we can assign to it. Yeah, to a sort of a dark brown color. I have here 3200. Let's see, 42. Click OK. So now this gives us this look of an old film kind of style, and already we can differentiate between which layer is above and which layer is below. Perfect. And now comes the interesting part of animating the position of these layers inside of After Effects, of course. We're going to start with the light rays composition. As you can see, we have pressed P to bring up the position already to work on. Okay, we're going to click on the stopwatch for the position so that we can now keyframe from which point in time should it start. So we want it to start like that, and then after let's see, just the amount of 10 seconds, we want it to move like that. Okay. Of course, basically we want it right out of our sight. Okay. But let's just keep this side here still in the picture, just to help us have some form of a reference. Okay. So basically, when we play this, the layer simply goes to the side. All right. But maybe we might need to bring this a bit closer. And since we want this to be a continuous animation going on without a black area being left, let's fix that. We're going to select our object and then go to Effect, Effect Stylize, Motion Tile. Now motion tile will allow us to duplicate these objects on the width. So we're going to change the output width to 570 for now. Can you see what it gives us there? A duplicate of what this previous object was. But clearly we need to widen the gap between these two. So we are going to this particular keyframe here, this one here, and then here we're going to change the position, but it doesn't really help much in changing the position. It's still fine. Okay, so basically right now with the output width selected, when we play our animation, as the layer passes through, it simply replaces with its previous values. Okay, and then to make sure that this will loop forever, and I mean forever, for eternity, so that we don't need to keyframe all the time. As you can see, all of a sudden it seems to stop. We are going to alt click on the position, and then we're going to enter this particular expression to make a continuous looping animation. We're going to enter loop out. Please note the caps lock in between the brackets, cycle. Let me make mine bigger so that we can see. So basically this is the value that we've entered right now. It says loop out cycle. In other words, this is going to loop our animation non-stop forever. And then you're going to notice now that as we play our animation, the moment it reaches a point where the keyframe has ended, what happens? It doesn't stop. It simply continues to play. It's like having something with continuous play forever, you know? It's like a music player which never stops playing your favorite music until you get so tired of your own music, you know? But since we want our animation to start from standstill, we are simply going to select these keyframes of ours and move them a bit forward in time so that the animation starts like that, and then it begins to animate. Okay, just some time for our audience to absorb what you're trying to show them. Okay, and then we're also going to select, of course, by now you know that we are going to duplicate the effect to the layer below. Okay, so we are going to select the alignment layer. Let's rename it to something else like reverse old, because it's going to reverse the animation, and the style of course looks like an old film. Okay, then as you can see, we have our position keyframe selected. We're also going to create a keyframe more or less at the same time in position in the timeline as this one here, and then around here we want it to have moved, of course, the opposite way. Maybe not as fast as the layer above it. Yeah, like that. And of course also here we are going to enter our beloved expression. Press alt click on the stopwatch, and then we're going to enter once more loop out, inverted commas, cycle. Okay, so let me put it somewhere for you so that you can see the expression that we've entered, so that you by no means you can make a mistake. Let me change the font to something bigger that you guys can see. Yeah, so this is the expression that we've entered. Just trying to help you guys here to see better. Yeah, loop out, cycle. That's the expression that we've entered. Alright, so now of course predictably, as we play our animation, the videos begin to play. Can you see? This one still cuts, so obviously we need to also apply a motion tile effect to it. So we select our reverse overlay, and then we go to effect, stylize, motion tile, and again we're going to change the output width to 570. Oh, by the way, let's check the mirror edges. Perfect. And also for our previous layer, I can see why we're having this problem here where there seems to be a cut there. So with our light trace layer, we also check the mirror edges so that it looks as if it's a continuous thing. Okay, perfect. But if you don't want to mirror the edges, you can always uncheck it so that it appears as if it's a new transition all the time. Alright. And then we just want to also enhance our look here by just giving our scene a bit of a reflection. Okay. So we are going to select our reverse odd layer and then go to Edit, Duplicate. Let's bring this one down. We're going to call this Reflect. Okay. Let's see what happens so far. Yeah. And then we are going to press P on the keyboard. No, this is not going to work like this. We need to uncheck the position keyframes. Okay. It's fine if After Effects tells us that it has taken out the keyframes and so forth, or it gives you an error that you've deleted keyframes and so forth. It's fine. And then we're going to change its position so that it can be lower, like that. And then with our layer still selected, we are going to press S on the keyboard to bring up the scale, and then we're going to uncheck the lock so that we can easily manipulate any of these values. We're going to enter -100% so that automatically it reverses our animation. Okay, as you can see, the top and the bottom seem to be reflecting there. So quick and dirty way to cheat your way through reflections, you know. And then we're going to press P again. We're going to move it up so that it can be closer to the layer above it. And we are going to draw a mask for it. Yeah, just a mask. Yeah, like that. I'm going to turn off my mask setting for now. Press MM on the keyboard to bring up the mask settings. And then we're going to feather it out. And then we're going to reduce the expansion much better. So now it really looks like the reflections are happening well there. And very important, we need to parent our reflect layer to the reverse odd layer so that it doesn't get left behind as this one is being animated like that. So now you can see our parent is the reverse odd layer. So when, let's see what happens. When one animates, aha, they are moving together like that. Perfect. So basically the reflection and the map are going the same path. Beautiful stuff. So clearly, as you can see, quite a lot happened within this reflection composition of ours. Now we are almost done, guys. We are going to create a new composition. We're going to call this Finale Comp. Okay, now this one is going to have the resolution settings that we want to output. So this is going to be HDTV, high definition, 1280 by 720, or you can always select 720 by 480 for NTSC-DV. Okay, but you know, high definition is the standard of today, so that's why we are simply playing around with it. Okay, now there is a particular composition that we are going to steal, and it happens to be our reflection one, of course. So we go to the final comp, and then we're going to drag our reflection composition into it like that. Beautiful stuff. And then we need to bring the magic of Houdini here, you know. I don't know if you guys know the famous magician called Houdini. He once made a 5-ton elephant disappear, you know. Some say, you know, he could even dislocate his shoulders. Can you imagine, you know? The Houdini, the great escape artist, quite an inspiration indeed. So now we are going to try to be the Houdinis of After Effects and try to make this object here into a 3D cylinder. And fortunately, After Effects has got just the tools to do that without any hassles. So to achieve that, we're going to select our composition rather, and then we go to Effect, Perspective, CC Cylinder. Alright, already you can see what it has given us. We're going to try and rotate it. Can you see what it's doing for what it's doing to our animation already? Aha, I thought as much. I mean, what more can one say? Isn't After Effects so full of tricks and magical elements that one simply can't get enough of it, you know? So, first things first, we are going to try to reduce our radius, but you can see it's not really helping. Let's leave it at 100% like that, alright? Then we might want to play around with the lighting and shading settings like that, so that we get our object, of course, much more fancy. Let's first add a new camera to help us navigate through the scene easily. 50mm should do. Alright. With our camera track Z2 selected, yeah. Now this one gives us, of course, the power to rotate out of our animation like that. So already you can see what our animations will look like. Let me try to preview mine so that I can just show you what's going on. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a cool animation I'm having so far. Beautiful stuff's happening indeed inside of After Effects here. You will believe. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's continue working on it. We are almost done, guys. We just need to add a camera movement to it. Okay. Let me first extend my animation to the length it used to be. I'm going to make mine full again. Now we can always animate the camera separately from our beautiful video gallery, but there is just one problem, which is that chances are that when our camera movements are taking place, we might always want to coordinate the motion of our video gallery along with that of the camera. Okay, so yeah, let's try to sort that out. Okay, so we're going to select our reflection map. Basically, here we're trying to link the animation of the reflection map with those of the camera. We're going to bring down the effects, rotation, the camera as well. The rotations are also brought down. Okay, we're going to alt click on the rotation Z. Basically, we're trying to do this because you see, keyframing the camera animation is one thing, but since we at Henrythejedi.com are smarter than that, you know, we try to make life easier and much more approachable. So we're going to click on Alt and then on the stopwatch for the rotation on the Z axis, and we'll link the Z rotation to the Z rotation of the camera. Okay, Alt click on the rotation on the Y axis and link it to the Y rotation on the camera, and then of course Alt click on the rotation of the X axis and link it to the rotation on the X rotation of the camera. So basically now all the composition's rotation settings have been assigned to those of the camera. Alright, unfortunately we can't change those of the position because you see After Effects displays them like that instead of like this, but you never know. People, if you're smart, I believe you can always find a way around that. So as you can see right now, After Effects has tried to link the camera's movement, because now when you select the camera, can you see now our object is fully now a 3D object by simply manipulating its camera positions without touching the object again. So now we're going to apply our almost final keyframe animations to our using our camera, but before that, let's quickly go back again, just hopefully for the last time, to the reflection comp, and you can see here our animation will begin from the 3rd second, so from after 3 seconds. So let's go back to our final comp. We have our camera here. We're going to click on all these keyframes here, okay, of the camera, because we're going to animate them, even the zoom. Okay, and then here's what we're going to do. We're going to rotate our camera to such a point that we end up with our object more or less starting up like this. Okay. Like that. But we want even more. And we want some tilting to it. Yeah, like that. Okay. So, and then we scrub to this particular point in time, and then here we are going to try to reset each of these values. Going to reset each of these, and as you can see, of course, it's cleverly trying to position our object back to the way it's supposed to be. And we simply zoom out like that. Yeah. So basically our object starts like this, and then like after it becomes like that, aha, that's when it begins to animate. Of course, this by this time, this is by the time by which you begin to see angels on your monitors, you know. Guys, this is so exciting. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Creativity clearly does not know, or rather it's not defined by limits, you know. Creativity is just awesome. Yeah. Can you see, guys, what we're working on, eh? This is such a stunning scene that I will always be happy that I ended up with this stunning result. So basically, our camera begins, our animation begins, and then our layer positions itself into place. But before this happens, let's just make sure that these are a bit further away, and then here, around here, we want to reset each of these. Except the zoom, we just want to be a bit out of focus so that we can see the full-fledged creativity of ours. So basically, this is how our animation is taking place, and then it begins to rotate. And then if you want to go even further, it's up to you. You can simply do, yeah, that kind of manipulation right there. Aha, I like that. And then of course, to make our animation smooth, we are simply going to select all our keyframes and then go to animation, keyframe assistance, easy ease. Okay, so that now we should end up with smooth animations. I'm just worried about this area here where we're supposed to have reset these values, or rather, sorry, I'm going to undo mine. Yeah, so basically what we've tried to create is something that starts up like this, a beautiful video gallery that unfolds itself before our own eyes, and then our layers begin to animate. Oh yeah, we are full power. So let me show you guys what I ended up with. Oh yeah, our beautiful video animation comes through. Beautiful video gallery only at Henrythejedi.com. Oh yeah, guys, you can see for yourself what we've achieved. Indeed, stunning results, and I'm still speechless, as I said, guys. Look at that, eh? And by the way, there's a last trick I want to show you guys. If ever you wanted to replace any of your images, let's say you have a new client and he wants the same effect, but he wants you to use new pictures to carry your animation, here's what to do. Okay, can you see what we have right now, right? So right now we have these images here, right? Now, if you wanted to change them to anything else, this is what will happen. You come here where it says, where you can see your project assets. You right click and then you say replace footage file. Okay, and then After Effects is going to open this window where it allows you to replace a file to something else. So let's say I want to replace my character with this particular lady here, and I can assure you, can you see now? She has been replaced. Can you see now? Now this lady is taking the place. Let's say you wanted to replace the car, for that matter, this one here. Well, you simply select the car, replace footage file, and let's say you wanted this old beaten Fiat 500. Okay, aha, can you see? That picture too has been changed. Yeah, and then let's say you wanted to change my picture here. Where do I appear? Let me see. Yeah, I appear somewhere here. Alright, of course you can always let's see, you can always reduce the light intensity and so forth if you wanted, if it's a bit too much for you. So let's say you wanted to replace my picture. Well, you simply again replace with another file. Well, you could replace it with this particular object here. Before you know it, After Effects, aha, After Effects, simply like that, it replaces that object. So yeah, that's how you could replace objects and end up with a totally different animation. Aha, so now we have the lady with the horse, the old Fiat 500, and the actress there. Just like that, that's how easy it is to replace assets within After Effects. So yeah guys, as I told you, by the way, before I forget, yeah, this is really my dream car, the Fiat 500. This is the old version. Huh? It's a little this big, but it's a Lamborghini, really. It really is, I promise. So please guys, pray for me so that one day, I could be lucky and fortunate enough to be driving off in the stunning Fiat 500 Abarth edition. Oh yeah. Well, thank you for watching yet another exciting video tutorial right here at Henrythejedi.com, and we've got even more exciting news for you, such as our great training DVDs that you can access on our product section, where at the moment we have Creative Phenomena, which is a training DVD for After Effects and 3D Max, where we create beautiful design elements. We also have After Effects Unmatched, which is a training DVD for After Effects, and where we boost your creativity levels to the next level of unmatched creativity. And of course we have this awesome Henrythejedi.com t-shirts in which you can wear our t-shirts and radiate your creativity. So basically check out our basic training products. We got good prices, and of course we ship all over the world, okay, using FedEx, and of course you can always order to download, or you can also order if you want it to be shipped to your home, okay. And of course we also accept a Western Union as a payment option, or PayPal or credit cards, okay. And of course, yeah, check out also the rest of our tutorials on our tutorials page, okay. And for those of you who are interested in downloading these video tutorials so that you can watch them at the comfort of your home, you can always register or subscribe to our newsletter and online forum, where you're also free to share your ideas, okay. So our subscription option is always available on all our pages, as you can see there, okay. And of course, if you've done beautiful works and you want to share it with the rest of the world, well, don't worry, we have Henrythejedi.com Showcase Arena that you can also access by all our pages by going to the arena. You can always visit, login, or register. So this is what the arena looks like, and yeah, you can just come and post your works there so that people can leave a comment, or they can also rate you according to how they think your work looks like. So if you've done any works in 3D Max or After Effects or Photoshop or any software tool for that matter, we have our beautiful Henrythejedi.com Showcase Arena, where you are free to register and showcase your works for the rest of the world by showcasing your creativity. So thank you once more for watching our video tutorial. My name is Henry Mbata, also known as the Jedi. Keep visiting Henrythejedi.com for great training products, great tutorials, and great offers, of course. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.